everybody. Welcome back to another group gab session with Julie and Emily. And this week we are blessed to have one of our inpatient experts on group leading, and that is Steve Makofka. Steve, how long have you been here at KBMC?
7 years.
7 years. And you've been doing groups on the unit for how long?
5.
5 of those 7 years. Fantastic. Okay, so we wanted to kind of sit down with Steve and just kind of get some insights into groups and how they run, how they operate. So Steve, tell us a little bit about when you're in a group and creating dialogue in a group. Sometimes it seems like participants, especially on inpatient, I think more than outpatient, they may not want to participate. They're kind of sitting back and not really participating. How do you create that dialogue to give them a good opportunity to engage?
Okay. Couple things that I do. I'm big into eye contact. So I'm going to do a survey of the group just to see what they're giving me back. Like the ones making eye contact, maybe listening, even if they're not participating, even if they're not coming out, they're hanging on every word. And so if I can make initial contact, that's involvement with eye contact. Second thing I'll try to do while I'm talking, while other people are talking, I'm going to look for body language, nonverbal communication, and if I can catch a shift, like somebody's sitting like this, and all of a sudden they do something like that, something got them.
Okay.
So I will look at that moment of opportunity and go, okay, you just responded to something.
Yeah.
What was going on there? If I'm going to get them, that's the moment.
Okay.
And they go, well,
Great.
I don't know, and so they'll start talking. Third thing, some people have decided before coming to group, they're not going to say anything. That's their goal for the group, is to just sit there. They want to be there. They want the credit. And so when I do the morning group of getting better, they have the right to pass.
Okay.
And so I'll go, and you can do that. And sometimes they'll pass, and sometimes you can tell I'll get them later, or sometimes they're very resolute. You are not going to make me talk. And then that becomes a respect thing. And if it's safe for somebody not to talk, I think everybody else feels safer that it is okay to talk, that I have not taken away their choice, I haven't coerced them or pressured or manipulated. That is respected. Very often that'll come back in the later group. Like, you didn't make me talk last time, you respected where I was at and gave me space, so it's safer to proceed on the next time.
Okay.
And then I have the classic cliche is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Somebody told me a long time ago, salt the oats. Create thirst. Try to find something that they're interested in and get them to open up on that. And at the point where you're talking about something they're thirsty for, they're interested, that's when my groups frequently go off track. But that's where, we're giving them some space and
giving them the ability to grow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. And what do you believe as the group leader to be the most helpful tool that you use during some of your groups?
Okay.
What's something that you use that is most helpful?
Questions.
Questions.
The getting to the right question. And very often it takes several attempts to try to, we start, I don't know if everybody has seen this, but when I do my morning goals group, this is what we're talking about. We took what's on the board, and these are my questions. I start with, are you getting better? And no is an acceptable answer. And if you are getting better, can you give me an example? Is it thinking, feeling, or doing? And that frequently there's somebody in the group who wants to answer the question. So we'll start with them. So getting the good question, listening to the answer, and then making sure that you include what they said in your response. The restatement, those tools that we should have.
Sure.
So,
Okay, good. I like
good
that.
question.
That's good.
And listen.
That's good. Okay. And tell me, so one of the things that we often look at and talk about, and I think most people are uncomfortable with, is when there's conflict in a group, or there's disagreement in a group, and like there's someone pushing back on maybe a concept or a question that you've presented. How do you deal with conflict in a group?
Couple things. We work very hard at a respect culture. So we want you to treat us with respect, we're going to treat you with respect, we want you to treat each other with respect, and mostly we want you to respect yourself.
Yes.
So within that context, you can allow people to, they'll express something and somebody else can disagree with it. As long as they do it respectfully, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You can push back on what I say, as long as you do it respectfully,
Right.
it's fine within certain boundaries.
Mhm.
And the boundaries are like, it's my group. You know, we want to pass control, influence, and all of that, but we are going to set some parameters. If you
Mhm.
go into politics, sorry, we can't do that.
Sure.
If somebody's individually processing in group, I'm sorry, not the right time
Sure.
or place for that. I'm going to have to set a limit on that. And so I think once the boundaries are enforced and
Mhm.
people go, yeah, I'm so glad you stopped that person from talking.
Yeah.
Because it was starting to annoy other people.
Sure.
But you did it very respectfully, then that kind of frees everybody else.
Mhm.
People in manic stage, cluster B, you know, borderlines and bipolars are going to try to dominate. Oppositional people are just going to, hey, look, isn't it a nice day? No, it's not. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, you know, you're
Yeah.
entitled to that, and
Sure.
you just know that you're going to get opposition from that person.
Okay.
And let them, as long as they do it respectfully.
Respectfully. Good. I
Right.
like that. Good. Okay. Emily, anything that you can think of?
30 minutes. Usually, when you're in college and you're doing a presentation for class, it's a 7-minute presentation. And 30 minutes in front of a group of strangers can be intimidating to our staff.
Mm.
How can we make 30 minutes seem a lot less intimidating to them when they're starting a group?
What I do as an educator, I am more student focused than content focused. And I think most people come in with, I need to cover the content. And I think when you balance that to, I need to engage with the student, I'm going to get as much content as I can.
Mhm.
But allowing that flexibility to you determine half the group, but the group determines the other half. So again, starting off, you know, the outlines we have an opening sentence, they have a purpose, they have techniques. So engaging, the more that the patients engage, the quicker the group goes.
Mhm.
And then, like, for me, stopping on time. Like, once you get that momentum going, then reeling it
Yeah.
in and saying that we have to stop.
Right.
But engage the patient. They're coming for something. They want something. They're in the group for something. If you can determine
Mhm.
what that is and then plug into it, then you're still steering, but they're providing the energy to move the group forward.
That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Very helpful today. So
You're
one of the
welcome.
things that, I really picked up on was respect. So just make sure, I think that it's so important, we've talked about this last year with our culture shift and some of our paradigm shifts during our education, in that we just have to make sure that every language, every word that we use, every sentence, every group, is really surrounded by respect. So I really appreciate that you're using that word. And, we're talking respectfully about patients. We're treating patients respectfully because we expect that from them as well. So, so that I think that is a really big key and good takeaway from today. So, again, thank you all for all that you do. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time on Group Gab. Take care.